And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
All right, today we have been thrown a softball. It will be very difficult to review this game without delving into any kind of obvious humor.
You suck.
You Suck is a game from Bezier Games. It is a tick-taking game.
Oh, I get it, like trick-taking, but the theme is ticks. That's funny.
And that's where the You Suck comes from, because they suck your blood.
Ah.
Now that we've spelled that out for you, let me show you how the game works. At the beginning of the game, each player is given a random tick, and these ticks are somewhat nicer looking than actual real ticks are. This game is as I said, tick-taking game, but it involves basically trick-taking. Essentially, you have to follow the way these ticks work. Whoever has the red tick here gets to choose the dealer for the round. So that dealer is going to take some cards here that go from 1 to 10 of different colors, and they're going to shuffle those, and they're going to give some of those cards to each player. And they're not all of them, so each player is going to get 5 cards from here. Each player is also going to get a 0 card, although whoever has the gray tick will get an extra 0 card. Whoever has the purple tick is going to get an extra card from this deck. And then players are going to each get 1 wild card, which goes from 12 to 20. There's also an 11, but that goes to whoever has taken this one, so that person will have 2 wild cards. Whoever has the orange tick is going to choose the trump color, which is over here. You decide what trump there is. If no one has it, then there is no trump that round. And then whoever has this tick simply gets 3 points. Now, the way this game progresses is at the beginning of each round, players are going to pick, by the way, these cards are here, you put them in front of you so you know what color you are. They're going to predict how many tricks they're going to take. In round 1 and 2, they'll use this side of the card. In round 3, they'll use this side. So, if I think I'm going to take 2 ticks, I'll put my token here and say that I'm going to, if I do that, I'm going to get 6 points. And then blue says I'm going to take no ticks. He'll get 10 if he's correct. Yellow says I'll get 4, and this goes around like this. Then, starting with the person to the left of the dealer, players are going to play cards from their hand. Now, the way this works is on your turn, you're going to play a card on a tick. The first card that's played on any specific tick, once players have used their ticks, they go back to the middle here. Once you play a card on a tick, that's the card that's taking that tick, and that will come in front of you, and it will stay in front of you until somebody has played a higher number of that same color. People may only play red cards on this tick unless they have no other colored cards in their hand. Let's say I had no reds in my hand, then I can play a green. But the person who controls the tick is the person who played the highest number of the first color that was played, or the person who's played the highest wild card on that tick will have it, or if for some reason someone was able to play a card that was the trump color on it, in this case green, the highest trump card wins. So it's color that was led is highest, then trump color, then these wild cards. When the cards on the tick equal the number of players in the game, then that tick is won, and whoever was the person who has the controlling card on that tick will take it and keep it. And then next round they get to use the special ability of that tick. This will continue till all the ticks on the table have been played. You can use zeros, obviously, so that you don't take a tick if you don't want one of them. After the first 2 rounds of doing this, in the 3rd round, all the ticks will be turned over in the middle of the table, and players are going to score points at the end of the game or lose points for controlling the different ticks. And as I said, players will also be scoring points in round 1 and 2. If they successfully got the number of ticks they said they would, they will score these points. And then round 3, they use this side of the card for that. Whoever has the most points, and again, points are kept track of up here with the different score markers, is the winner of the game. So, okay, this is a very I mean, Z and I, we've done it before. We did a list of top 10 trick-taking games.
That's right.
Wait,
That's right, we did.
We talked about trick-taking games. So this is something that we were both very interested in trying because trick-taking is something that comes naturally. I just basically say, what's the differences? How does Trump work? While when you teach other people, you say, okay, first I play a color. This one is a trick-taking game where essentially you're doing all the tricks at the same time. Right. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Have you?
I don't think so.
Okay. And each trick is winning something, which is either a special ability for the next round or points at the end of the game.
Right, during the last round.
Now, bidding on how many tricks you're going to take, that's not new. That's done in the Seven Seals and other games. Okay, I mean, I think Rook does it. How many, that Rook is how many points. But basically, how many tricks you're taking. But it is a big part of the game. The general feeling I'm getting from You Suck, though, is that it's convoluted. It's kind of the word. Because you're looking all over the board, okay, which ticks haven't been taken yet, okay, what was the starting color of that tick? Oh, it was yellow. It's hard to explain. When I play trick-taking games, I kind of get in a rhythm. Doom, doom, doom. I'm already thinking, what card am I going to play next turn?
Right.
I never thought that when playing this because I was never sure. I would sit there and go, okay, I need to win 2 tricks, so I'm going to save my zeros for these since I cannot win those.
Yeah, I agree. It gives you that feeling of playing a game like Battle Line, where half the game is not really about what you play now, but about what you hold for later. Like Loco and all its variations and rethemings. Battle Line. Games like that, where the idea is you have to play there, probably, but now might not be the best time. You want to let everybody else have a swing at it first, and then maybe it's time for you to play. And like you said, it feels like playing a bunch of tricks at the same time. Now, I myself didn't really get the vibe that it was convoluted. I think convoluted games, especially in the trick-taking category, that comes in when the game has a convoluted scoring system. And that can be very heady, very convoluted.
Well, that's true. This isn't a strange
But this
system.
is like trick-taking with little powers, which is right up my alley. I like that.
That's true, but if it had been trick-taking with powers, I think I'd been more interested in it. Mm-hmm. There's a couple things that I thought were negative. One is I don't like when you don't deal out all the cards.
Right.
That drives me crazy because you're not sure. There's no reason to keep track of anything because you don't know where anything is. And the wild cards drove me nuts. They're so powerful. But if you get the wild 12, if I get the wild 12 and Z gets the wild 20, he definitely has an advantage. If you have the wild 20, you're going to take a trick.
Right.
And there's no chance for you not to.
Right.
While in another game, even if you have the highest card of Trump, I guess you always take a trick with the highest card of Trump, right? Maybe.
Well, yes, you would, but in this game you're bidding on how many tricks you're taking. In most other trick-taking games, you don't do that. So you know you're taking one. It's like a given, I do think the scoring is interesting, though, except for the last round, in which the scoring is reversed. If you say you'll take no tricks, you actually score more points than if you say you're scoring.
But it's hard to take no tricks.
Right, it's hard. Also, you'll have no power because the cards you win throughout the game let you pick things like Trump.
Oh, that's true, right, so and that works out.
That works out, that balances. I thought it was a pretty interesting game. It doesn't crack my, top 5 or 10 best trick-taking games ever, but it's a neat twist on trick-taking games.
Okay, I'm coming down on this a little bit. I don't dislike it. It's just that I don't feel like there was much in it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, let's just have fun. It wasn't like a lot of trick-taking games. I could play many trick-taking games very seriously. Mm-hmm. Not seriously where I, go out and run off a cliff. But what I'm saying is I can sit there and go, I'm going to try to win this one. In You Suck, I don't know that I could say I'm going to try to win, but it's kind of just, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Mm-hmm. I don't think when the game's over, you're like, skills, and stand up from the table.
No, you're probably right. It's fairly light in its strategy, but for somebody who is not that person who plays the one same trick-taking game at every meeting with the 3 other people, this is a good one.
Okay, yes, I'll take that caveat. So anyway, I don't think You Suck sucks.
We got to really drop this thing.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it would be so easy to jump into that thing. But I don't think it's going to shake the world on fire either. I'm predicting that within a year we're not going to talk much about it.
You are acceptable.
But it is an acceptable... Wow, what a glorious thing. It's passing.
You pass.
Okay, well, anyway. So that's you suck, not you. The game. It's confusing.
Either.
Ted, stop naming games this way. All right, what's your final opinion? We already said our final opinions. Are we done?
All right, I'm going to give it 1.5 blood-sucking ticks up.
I can't. I'll give it some cute, cuddly, furry ticks.
Aw.
I'll give one of those slightly raised. So it's just above average for me.
There you go.
And that is the game entitled You Suck.
You suck.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door! Or something like that.